Hey everybody, here I am all decked out in my Frog Tog rain gear. Hopped off 10 miles up from the hostel at the Gath Park. It's like, I don't know, something to do with the Revolutionary War that I'm not familiar with. But apparently the Gath family owned all this land and were war correspondents. There's a number of stone buildings here. Family cemetery and mausoleum, and I guess the main area of the park is down there. Some park buildings, and I am heading that way. It's about 11 miles back to Harper's Ferry hostel. And it's raining all day and tomorrow, so I'm gonna try to get there before dark, and I'll see y'all later. Have a good day. Stay dry. Hey everybody, it's Finney here. So, just about 4 miles into my hike, I stopped at Shelter in Gathland to have some lunch, and now I'm back on the trail. So just about 7 miles to go, and I should be coming to the end of this ridge, which means I should have a long downhill, and then I got a good long stretch right along the river. I'm not sure if it's the Potomac or the Shenandoah, and then I cross over the river and back into Harper's Ferry. Which I got I think a mile or so to get around to where the trail head is to go up into Harper's Ferry. So it's pretty out here for the time being. The rain has stopped, and there was one guy up top in the shelter back there spreading all this stuff out to get it to dry. A couple of young women were just hiking up to the shelter as I walked away. So that makes 8 people I've seen in an hour and a half, 2 hours on the trail, which beats almost the entire count of people I saw on the entire Pinhoti Trail, 350 miles. So, yeah, a lot more traffic on the AT. And the trail has looked like this the whole way. So it's much wider, much more open. At least, you know, this section from what I see. And I wonder if that's going to be the majority of the AT. That would make a lot. I would think it would make the hiking a little longer, easier, and faster, but I don't know. I'm sure I'm going to come to sections where I'm using the F word frequently, just like I did on the Pinhoti. So anyways, I'm going to keep going here. I should be able to sleep pretty well when I get back to the hostel tonight, and I will talk to y'all later. Have a good day. Bye. Hey everybody, it's Finney again. I don't know how well this comes out, but I started climbing from the parking lot down there. I've climbed high enough that the clouds are sitting on top of this mountain. So I'm actually walking through the clouds that are actively raining upon me. So I've skydived, fallen through clouds before, and got wet from the moisture. Yeah, hitting the moisture, but and I've walked through clouds in high mountains before, but I've never been actually inside a cloud that's actively raining on me as I walk. So it's kind of cool. You can see it looks like fog on the trail. That's just all of the moisture from the cloud airborne. It's really kind of unique. I find it interesting, but I'm kind of a nerd about things, so. Anyway, 10 miles to go on a rainy day. I don't expect I'm going to see any other hikers unless I get to the one shelter between here and Harper's Ferry. And I would expect that any hiker who couldn't afford a hostel or one of the hotels is probably went to that shelter. And I don't know how many people it holds, but it's possible they could be empty or completely filled with campers or hikers who, because of the heavy rain, decided to take a 0 day and stay in the shelter. So won't know until I get there. But this is incredible, and it's beautiful. There's so much beauty in the world. I am so lucky to be here and go through this even on a rainy day. So I'll say goodbye, talk to all later, maybe shoot some more video, something interesting comes along. See you later. I give y'all guys a little glimpse of how pretty it is out here. Looks like I'm back in the middle of fern springtime. All the beautiful green ferns popping up, making that beautiful green carpet out through there. That's pretty, isn't it? So beautiful up here. So beautiful. Well, back into the woods. Hey everybody, came to a way marker here, Appalachian Trail South, which is the way I am heading for this section today, north, which is where I came from, and the Weaverton Cliffs, 0.2 miles that away, which I am not going to go do. I have heard that it is a spectacular view. However, I would assume that's not on the day that is overcast, rainy, and the clouds are sitting on top of the mountains. So I am going to bypass that and head on down to Harper's Ferry. See y'all later. Ooh, more of this. Hello everybody, One Penny here. Sections of the trail like this are what absolutely suck. There's like no level place to put your feet. Lots of things sticking up to trip you. It's wet from the rain. It's just horrible to walk on, and the only thing worse than walking uphill on this is walking downhill on this. You don't have a leg down beneath you, braced while you lift your other leg up. You're just continuously going down, slipping, trying to pick a flat place to put your foot, see if it's secure. This just absolutely sucks. And I think, though I'm not sure, that this is the downhill that takes me all the way down to the river. So this is just gonna suck for quite a while. Just thought I'd give you a little update. See you later. Hello again. Well, here I am crossing underneath the freeway. So, that is the stream down there. I can see the old foundation of an old highway down there. The stoneworks. And continuing on, listening to all the vehicles zipping by above. Kind of like walking through a tunnel. Yep. Off we go. I'll see y'all later. Bye. Hey everybody. One penny here. Much nicer section of trail here. I can hear traffic around me. Don't know what the roads are. Haven't checked the Far Out app to see exactly where I'm at, but I am down off the top of the mountain. Still got a ways to go down to get to the river. Can certainly hear the traffic on the highway. So, but this is a nice pretty section of trail. Easier to walk on. Guess I'll give you another glimpse. I can see cars heading up a highway over there. And there is a view of a stream down there. That thing's running muddy, really muddy. So I got at least another 100, 150 feet of elevation to lose before I get down to the river. So I'll just keep on my way. See y'all later. Hey everybody, One Penny again. I always forget to do this. I get to a real challenging section of the trail when I could possibly video, and I forget to do it. So I'm almost done with this section, but I'm going to go ahead and video a little bit. I'm on the never-ending series of steep switchbacks to get me down off the mountain, down by the river, and I'm pretty much done with the switchbacks now, I think. I'm just through a rocky slope going down. I don't know if there'll be any more switchbacks, but just to give you an idea of the trail, lots of rocks, lots of things to trip on, lots of painful places to put your feet. So this is not great hiking, but it's all a part of the journey. So, sometimes you have really nice, easy sections of the trail, and you have these sections. And if you didn't have some of these, you wouldn't appreciate the others so much. So, while this is tricky and uncomfortable, it's not quite as bad as all of the switchbacks I just came through, which I didn't video for you. So, just trying to keep making progress. I can hear the traffic on the highway down below. So, I'll get there at some point. So, I'll film this a little bit more, see if we come to any switchbacks. Look at that, a 50-foot long piece of nice soft dirt. And then you get this, more and more rocks. All right. Yeah. I don't know if anybody's noticed, but I do not have my hiking poles with me. I was in a hurry to try to get out and get a shuttle to get up here and get at least some miles in today, and I left with my slack pack. Here's a little bit of a cut back here. And I went out without my poles. And poles in sections like this can really, really help. Now, turn the corner. Try not to fall down the mountain. Really, I can see the trail cutting back and forth down below me. So, yep. But these cutbacks are nothing like the cutbacks higher up. I wish I'd filmed those for you. So, coming down here, looks like a set of steps they created. Heading on down. Another cutback. You can see the trail going down that way. So, look at this. Be careful where you press your feet. So, on rainy days, of course, it's even more challenging. Rocks are slippery. Mud makes things slippery. The roots are slippery. And you just got to try to be careful. Well, I got you a few cutbacks and some of the trail coming down. I'm going to go ahead and put the phone away and get on down the trail. Hope y'all having a good day. Bye for now. Just in time to catch a train going by. A little bit noisy, carrying all kinds of goods. So, alright, back to the trail. See y'all later. Hey everybody, One Penny here. I'm walking along between the railroad track over there, and that is the old C&O Canal. And this is the towpath for the C&O Canal, also Appalachian Trail. And there is the Potomac River. And I am headed up here, and I will cross over on a bridge. And the bridge I can see that I thought I would get you a picture of, but now can't, is the 340 bridge. And I don't think that's the bridge that I cross. I think I go farther up. So, just giving you a glimpse of what's out here. The towpath is pretty nice and easy. All packed cinders. So, I think it was 4 miles to the end. I've maybe come 3/4 of a mile. So, got a ways to go yet. So, see y'all later. Alright. So I walked past this and had to come back and take another look at it. This is like one of the coolest trees I have ever seen. Look at that thing. It's all just the outside of the tree. There's a big hole in it going up and up and up. The whole inside is gone all the way around. It's just really cool. So says One Penny the nerd. That's just really kind of cool. Alright, on I go. Yeah. Get a view of some rafters coming down, go through the small rapids there. There they come. They're going on down and around, and if I don't know if I can get a picture of it, but way on down the river there, where all the colors at, that's where they're that's where they're all pulling out. We have to go ahead and go from this side of the river where they went through the rapids. They went to the other side and down to their takeout. They look like they're having fun. And I still have a mile and a half, 2 miles to go till my fun is done for the day. I'll see y'all later. Got some rafters and kayakers here on the Potomac, and I hear hooting and hollering from up this way, so that must be where they're coming down through some rapids. But I can't see them from here. I can see afterwards. I'll try to move on up there, see if I can get a shot. But they look like they're having fun. Hey everybody, I'm Vinny here. I'm gonna switch this around. Getting ready to go underneath the 340 bridge. So 340 is like 4 lanes from Harper's Ferry westward. But when it gets to Harper's Ferry, it narrows down to like 2 lanes and goes across the river here. So nice view from underneath. The path goes on. So several more miles before I get to where I cross the river. So there you go. Underneath the bridge. I believe that is the Potomac River. On I go. See you later. Hey everybody, it's One Penny. And I believe this is where I cross back over the river. So it looks like a railroad bridge, whether it's still in use or not. And of course all this stonework beside me on both sides are still remnants of the old C&O Canal, which is right here. And I say this location is known as the River Lock, I guess. That's what the sign back there says. So it looks to me like I'm gonna climb up a bunch of stairs here. It's interesting, you can see all the stonework that way. There's some rough stuff. Then it gets to finished stuff. And then just farther up, you can see more of it. I don't know where or when the tunnel came in, but I don't see any signs that tell me I go up here. I'm going to check the map and make sure, but I believe this is it. I will talk to you later. Alright, on I go. Okay, everybody, it's One Penny. So I've got back to Harper's Ferry. I still got a mile or so to go to get into the trail and then up to the hospital. But I just stopped at a place called the Coffee Mill. The Coffee Mill, because it was right close to the trail. And I got a slice of lemon marzipan cake, which is delicious, and a nice hot chocolate, which is great at the end of a long, chilly, rainy day. So I'm going to finish this up and then head on back to the hostel. But this is a delicious cake. I'll see you later. So apparently Harper's Ferry was captured 6 times, and they got plaques here for each one. 2, 3, 4, and 5. All in September 15th and 16th, or 15th. All of them on the same day. I'll see you later. Yep, check the map. This is it. Up I go. Up I go. Somebody lost a hat. Oh. All right. Got a little bit further to go. There's the Harper's Ferry train tunnel. 1931. And I am heading on this way. I'm gripping my phone tightly. Sure as shit don't want to drop it here and lose it forever. Here we go. Up, up, up. There we go. Interesting old stone house over there. And here I go. You can see the old stone pilings over there on an earlier bridge. It looks like 2 different train tracks and 2 different train bridges. And the remains of several bridges that are no longer here. So at least in one of the battles of Harper's Ferry, apparently it changed hands about 6 times during the war. That's what a guy told me today. He said Robert E. Lee came here and his troops drug cannons all the way up to that ridge. That's called Loudon Ridge, I guess. And from there fired cannons down into what's called Lowtown, which is what's directly ahead of me. The lower part of Harper's Ferry. That is where the armories for the Union. There were several armories and ammunition stores and other things. So, yeah, they won that battle, and then it went back and forth a number of times. Yeah. Happy to be getting back here. So you can see a lot of locks on the side of the bridge here. As I understand it, that is a tradition that started places in Europe where lovers would walk out to certain bridges, pledge with a lock, pledge their love to each other, and lock the lock on the sides of the bridge. And that meant that their love would last forever. So I have no idea how true that is, but that's the story I heard. So you see some people going to the overlook there. This is the junction of the Potomac, which is what I'm crossing, I believe, and the Shenandoah, which is that river right over there. Yeah. Closer and closer to being back at the hostel for tonight. That's all for now. I'll see you later. Jefferson's Rock. Try to zoom in on the writing here, give you a chance to read that. That's what Thomas Jefferson said as he stood on this rock. Right over. Okay, trying to find the trail without really good markings, but came up that stone staircase and then up here, passing. There's the staircase there, top of the staircase. And here's St. Peter's Roman Catholic Church. And way up there is a trail sign ablaze. So off I go. So I thought this took us around Harper's Ferry, but apparently it's taken us right through the middle of historic Harper's Ferry. And I believe everything down there is what they call Low Town. That's where the armory was. That's the stables that was John Brown's fort when he made the raid. So I don't know if this is still considered Low Town since I'm heading up so steeply, but up I go. There's some ruins up ahead and more steps. Oh joy. I will talk to y'all later when I get to the top of something and can breathe. See ya. Okay. Appalachian Trail goes from that street up these stairs. That's what the map says, so here I go. I don't know how many steps it is. You can tell they're really worn. These were cut into the bedrock. So, and here's some laid steps. They could definitely use some signage. So, everybody, it's one penny here. So I had a nice room here at the hostel last night. Really nice big king bed and or queen bed, and very comfortable and nice, and kind of antique-ish furniture. But to get me a private room tonight, they had to put me in a room that's not quite finished. And what this room is really, it's a shed that was apparently just attached to the back of the house, and they cut through for the door. And but it works, and I'm happy with it. I got a nice clean bed, and I got a heater so I can control the temperature in here. I got all the basics I need. It's just an unfinished room. There's the doorway in. There's the heater in the corner, light, a fan, and some things are not quite finished, but that is okay with me. Someone who's done construction all my life and lived in a lot of stuff that I've done that wasn't finished, so I am perfectly fine and snug as a bug in a rug. So my clothes are in the dryer. It was a pretty good day today overall. I didn't want to have a 0 day, and I wanted to avoid the bad rain. And it didn't rain too bad on me once I started hiking. It rained heavy this morning, but when I got up, the forecast had changed and there was no more threat of thunderstorms today. So I ended up working out a shuttle that took me north, and then I hiked all the way back here to the hostel. It took me quite a while. The rain on the rock, and there's a lot of rocky sections, very slippery. Coming down the mountain was really kind of treacherous. And then it was an interesting walk along a pedestrian bridge next to a train bridge over the Potomac. And then getting back into Harper's Ferry, and I stopped at a place called the Barn and had I asked them for tea. The best they could do is a glass of hot water, and they poured a bunch of maple syrup or maple flavoring into it, and then squeezed some lemon into it, and it was actually really, really good. And so that was something good to warm me up at the end of the day. And then just got back here to the hostel. There's a guy heading out tomorrow, and I get to ride with him for free back up to where I was dropped off today, only this time tomorrow I'll start walking north and I'll be camping out. And there is some heavy rain scheduled for tomorrow, mostly in the afternoon. So we'll see if I can get to the shelters in time to avoid the rain, or if I'll get pounded while I'm on the trail. And I did pick up a different rain suit. I couldn't just buy rain pants. I had a rain jacket. I had to buy a whole new suit. So that was it was kind of interesting hiking with that. I don't know how I'm going to do tomorrow with my full pack. Today I had a slack pack, and I put it on, and then I put on the rain jacket, and it fit over top of it, so it kept it fairly dry. But tomorrow's the whole pack, and it's not gonna keep things dry. So I'm not sure how that's gonna work out. But overall, a good first day back on the trail, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Have a good day. So apparently that rock there with the pillars underneath it, balanced on top of the other rock, is Jefferson's Rock. And nobody's allowed up there now. And the braces were put there because people thought it was in danger of falling and rolling down the hill and destroying the houses and killing people down below. So no one's allowed up there. But that is apparently Jefferson's Rock. Now back to the trail.